Like Ryan was coming with his hook. He was strong. You know, I couldn't sit there with him. Frank, his jab was strong.
Floyd Mayweather has finally reacted to Gervonta Davis's claims that he gave tips to Frank Martin. He slammed Tank and called him a liar, claiming Tank has no life outside him. He even went as far as rubbishing Tank's win over Frank Martin. In the two biggest fights of the lightweight division, 135 and 140 pounds this year, Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin and Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, Floyd Mayweather repeatedly made headlines for the most irrelevant of reasons.
It's good to have guys that have been in the ring before, that got ring experience.
He did not only pick sides, but he acted in a manner that was unlikely of a boxing legend. This time, his feud with Gervonta Davis got so much into his head that he had secretly called Gervonta Davis's opponent Frank Martin and given him tips on how to beat Tank Davis. Whether it fell on deaf ears or whether Floyd's instructions weren't just enough, we don't know. However, on fight night, Frank Martin, who seemed to put on a great show in the early rounds, fell short after 1 minute and 49 seconds in the 8th round. A devastating blow from Gervonta Davis took him flat on the canvas, earning Gervonta Davis the 30th win of his career.
And has it made you a better fighter? Because he could tell me all day to do that shit he does. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you?
He could tell you, go run at 2 in the morning. You know, go do it when, because 9 out of 10, we know your opponent sleep at that time.
But that wasn't even where the problem was. The real issue was the involvement of Floyd Mayweather, who had clearly been at loggerheads with Gervonta Davis, having one of the most epic mentor versus protege feuds in recent history. Frank Martin revealed in one of his many pre-fight interviews that Floyd Mayweather had helped in some way ahead of the fight, hoping to get back at Gervonta Davis for being disrespectful to him. It came as a surprise to boxing fans and professionals when the Ghost Martin revealed he has been receiving advice from Gervonta Davis's former mentor and promoter, Floyd Mayweather.
Like Floyd, like if he tell you that, you gonna take a lot of heave to it, and it's gonna give you a different type of motivation when you doing it. He could show you something, you know, and it could be the same thing. You know, you might not be able to do it like him, but just it coming from him, it'll give you like a different type of life.
The lightweight duo locked horns in the ring at MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas on June 15th, with Gervonta Tank Davis retaining his World Boxing Association title. And as expected, there was quite the trash talk brewing between the two. Still, going into the fight, Tank Davis was a heavy favorite. However, while appearing in the Pivot podcast, shared on YouTube before the fight, the challenger Frank Martin revealed the Mike Tyson-esque advice money Mayweather had been giving him to get the upper hand during his Gervonta Davis fight. Frank Martin admits advice from Floyd Mayweather gives him a unique feeling. As a result of this, Floyd Mayweather has now lashed out at those coming for his head. I do what I want to do and support whoever I feel. How's there a crime in that? What's wrong with Frank meeting me for advice? If Tank comes, I'd advise him too. So what's the problem y'all have with me?
I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become world champion and take things to that next level. And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive.
Mayweather had been in Davis's corner despite their split and the various differences between them over the years, and for the most part, Davis has always respected the former world champion. However, with the Davis-Martin fight, alliances surely did change, especially since the much-publicized online tussle between Tank and Mayweather last month. So, when asked about whether there is anything Martin had learned from Floyd Mayweather before the fight, Martin had this to say: "He could tell you, man, go run at 2 in the morning, because 9 times out of 10, we know your opponent sleeps at that time," said the Detroit, Michigan native. Not that Martin specifically needed to train in those hours, but rather, as he explained it, doing it would give him a mental edge over his opponent, as these are the little things that make a big difference in the end. Martin emphasized that it's nothing that he didn't know or was a big deal, but coming from someone like Floyd, who has been at the highest point in the sport, you are going to take a lot of heave to it, and it's going to give you a different type of motivation when you do it, said Martin. He also added that even when Floyd shows something, a boxer might not be able to mimic it perfectly, but it'll give you a different type of feel about yourself. Interestingly, that's exactly what Mike Tyson used to do before his fights to gain a mental edge over his opponents. No wonder he became the youngest heavyweight champion and later an undisputed champion. Running at 3 in the morning and chopping wood are just a few of the things Mike Tyson would do to gain an edge over his opponents. However, neither Tyson's training ritual nor Floyd's advice were able to stop Gervonta Davis from doing what he planned to do on fight night. Davis, who was coming off a year-long layoff because of the hit-and-run case he was involved in 2022 and spent 90 days in Baltimore prison, came out on top on fight night with an 8th-round knockout. The gap in his resume didn't dull his skills in the ring. Davis defeated Ryan Garcia in his last outing in April last year and finished off with a similar result against Frank Martin. In fact, leading up to Davis's fight against Frank Martin, Mayweather urged his fans to watch UFC instead after the two traded shots at each other on social media. Famous boxing reporter Michael Benson posted, "Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis continuing their feud as Mayweather trolls Tank by posting that the Frank Martin fight has been canceled, and Tank responds, 'Keep talking and they'll pull up to your house and lay hands on you.'" Davis went on to knock out Martin in brutal fashion on Saturday. And in an interview after the fight, the boxing superstar revealed that Mayweather had tried to give his opponent tips on how to beat him. "He was giving Frank tips and stuff like that, but I know for sure that wasn't going to be enough to beat me. It's cool, it's alright, I don't really think too much of it, he's not gonna hurt me, you know what I mean? It's better to beef with him than to be cool with him." You know Floyd Mayweather was the one who told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock? Gervonta Davis. As for Mayweather, he leaked unreleased sparring footage between a young Devin Haney and Davis. Following Gervonta Davis's win against Frank Martin, the former lightweight champion uploaded a video of a training session between Davis and Devin Haney to his Instagram account. The video lasts 18 minutes, and in it, you can see the boxers exchanging blows with protective equipment while Mayweather clearly coaches Haney. The video does not have much that is extraordinary. What has caused suspicion in the boxing environment is the moment that Mayweather chose to release it. On Saturday night, Tank scored another victory, beating Frank Martin by a resounding knockout in the 8th round. The fight marked the debut of streaming giant Amazon Prime in boxing shows. The win solidifies Davis's position as one of the pound-for-pound best of the moment, granting him leverage in negotiations for a rematch with Ryan Garcia or a fight against Vasily Lomachenko. Some think that the video was a petty attempt by Mayweather to tarnish Davis's victory somehow. Although if that had been the end, the boxer-turned-promoter made a mistake. As in the footage, you can see an out-of-shape Tank holding up without a problem against a Haney who was in fighting shape. Others think that it was a way to cause excitement due to the recent arrival of Richard Schaefer to Mayweather Promotions. The former CEO of Golden Boy Promotions recently joined the Money Promotions team. The former Champions Company has had trouble recruiting talent in recent years. Mayweather was a brilliant strategist and one of the fighters with the highest boxing IQ in the world. However, that same intelligence did not translate to his business or personal life, and this new video is another example of the stumbles that the former champion has taken. It doesn't seem like the Mayweather-Davis feud is going to die down anytime soon. However, those who follow boxing keenly know that this script is a very familiar one, as Floyd Mayweather had done something very similar to Devin Haney when he fought Ryan Garcia that eventually led to a face-off between Bill Haney and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was surely the architect of the more controversial element of Ryan Garcia's April win over boxing rival Devin Haney. That's at least according to Garcia himself, who, after a strange promotion in which he behaved in a bizarre manner, stood on the scales the day before the fight and failed to make weight.
143.2, 143.2 official weight for Ryan Garcia.
Garcia weighed 6 pounds over the limit and the same amount higher than Haney, who fulfilled his professional obligation by making weight for the 140-pound world title clash. It is unclear if Garcia's decision not to drain himself to make weight had an impact on the Haney result, however. Impact on the Haney result, however. What was clear was that the California boxer was levels above his opponent, having floored him multiple times en route to a deserved win via decision. The former pound-for-pound boxing star told Garcia to enter the bout heavy now. Garcia has said on X, the social media site formerly known as Twitter, that Mayweather gave him advice ahead of one of the biggest nights of his life, Saturday the 20th of April at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Floyd told me to come in over 3 pounds, Garcia said. He also, in a separate post, included a photograph of what appeared to be a FaceTime with the former 5-weight world boxing champion. Garcia and Mayweather have a pre-existing relationship. Though it isn't certain when they first met, Garcia fought and lost by knockout to a former Mayweather Promotions boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis, in April last year, a bout that was sold to 1.2 million homes at the US box office. Since then, Garcia and Mayweather have trained together in Las Vegas, and the billionaire former prizefighter allegedly advised him to not sign a deal to compete against Haney and to instead box a Mayweather Promotions boxer called Rolando Romero. Since then, Romero went on to lose by violent knockout to Isaac Cruz on the 30th of March, while Garcia wrapped up the biggest win of his career against Haney. Talking about the incident, Floyd Mayweather cleverly ducked the question as to whether he was the one behind Ryan Garcia's excess weight, claiming he might face a lawsuit if he opened up. With me on here with you guys right now, I believe they're going, or with the New York Commission, there's huge problems with the WBC. The New York Commission and certain things, you know you can't speak because I'll mess around and get a lawsuit. So I have to be very careful when speaking about certain situations. They then moved on and continued with Gervonta Tank Davis, asking if Gervonta's recent acts prove him ungrateful. He replied, "My thing is I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become world champion and take Tank to that next level, and I've always been there for him. Over the years, I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great. But over the years, he's constantly going on the internet to take a shot at Floyd, constantly being disrespectful, when all I've ever been was respectful to try to help this fighter go as far as he could possibly go. That's all I ever did." He then referenced the famous video in which Gervonta Davis accused him of sending an attack. He denied Gervonta Davis's claims and explained his intentions, saying, "A lot of times they like to compare certain fighters, and then I say certain things and they say, oh, he's hating. There's no difference from when I talked about the thing with Gervonta. For instance, when I said that I need all the young fighters making money in the sport of boxing, and what I need you guys to do is do this. Whether it's Chromat, Louis, Mercedes, Gucci, we need to take our money and invest in real estate so that we can live the same great life when our careers are over." So, I guess he took that as he's the only one that wears Chromat, he's the only one that wears Louis Vuitton, he's the only one that wears Mercedes. Last time I checked, we've got fighters all over the world that wear top flight clothes that make good money. Even the fighters that don't make good money find a way to fly jets and fly whips. Floyd was asked about the top 5 fighters in the lightweight division, and he responded, "As of right now, well, the 2 guys, the biggest puncher I feel at 135 will probably be Gervonta Davis, but the most skillful fighter will be hands down Shakur Stevenson."
Oh, that's all I ever did.
Oh, Ryan, he should come in 3 pounds overweight.
Well, with me on here with you guys right now, I believe that they're going with the New York Commission. There's huge problems with the WBC, the New York Commission, and certain things, you know.
Talking about Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Mayweather compared his skillfulness to Pernell Whitaker, who wasn't the heaviest puncher but had the skill set to take on the best and get the better of them. I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to what he needs and make the fights happen that he wants. However, many fans took to the comment section to reveal how Floyd's response gave away the fact that he was the culprit behind the whole thing, not even after the other ways he influenced Ryan Garcia during the build-up. Shortly before the April 20th fight between Ryan Garcia posted the clip on his social media alongside the caption, "Gervonta Tank Davis rocks Devin Haney." with the video showing Adrian Bronner having to step in as Tank appeared to leave his session partner slightly unsteady on his feet. However, it was clear that Haney was unimpressed with the online antics of his upcoming opponent, as he later took to X to shoot down any suggestions that the footage is contemporaneous. He asserted, "Never did they post a chopped up edited video, 16 years old, and in there holding my own. We bet AB pops, and he honored it and paid," he said as he clarified the context surrounding the clip, claiming it was historic footage. "Ryan, we watched you quit. We are not the same and never will be. Tuned in April 20th, I'll show it," he added. As a result, Devin Haney blasted Floyd Mayweather Jr. for the very first time after supposedly leaking footage of his sparring with Gervonta Tank Davis. Haney took to X and tweeted, "Floyd has been hating a long time," he wrote. "This ain't just starting. I held my tongue for years because I respect the greats of the sport. But dude is a bona fide hater that doesn't want to see nobody win if he's not a part of it. I know he sent Ryan the sparring. I know he gave Ryan those a pimp comments to say. Miserable old man tried to stop the fight. Alhamdulillah, I'm happy he revealed himself to the world." Evidently, Devin Haney said this about Floyd Mayweather, and now Gervonta Davis is saying the same thing. Floyd Mayweather is like a king who sits on the throne and wields his power whichever way he wants. Earlier, in order to get back at Devin Haney, he released only a few seconds of the clip to Ryan Garcia. However, when it was time to taunt Gervonta Davis, he instead posted the full video. Like Devin Haney claimed, Floyd Mayweather wants to be at the center of every win, and when a boxer stays away from him, he moves on to the next. Mayweather's aim was to ensure Frank Martin came out on top and announced him as one of the pillars behind his success, and since that wasn't the case, he was out to justify himself. This questionable act from Floyd Mayweather was what led to a virtual confrontation between him and Bill Haney, where he kept telling Bill and Devin Haney to seek his help if they needed it. He surely took the glory for Ryan Garcia's win and rubbed it on Bill Haney's face. Following how he set the tone with immediate insults, he continued by undermining Floyd's 50-0 professional boxing record, while continuing to bring up how Devin Haney allegedly beat Mayweather in a sparring match. And he got just the perfect response from Floyd Mayweather, a former professional fighter who was on top of the world during his heydays and had mastered the art of face-offs and verbal battles. Floyd responded quite wittily, saying, "If your son is undefeated in the gym, congratulations. Congratulations that you got an undefeated fighter in the gym. I'm an under the lights type fighter. Bill, let me ask you a question. What's my record under the lights?" Haney seemed to drift off sparring and boxing and asked Floyd even a more important question. "But listen, what's your record in life?" Bill Haney queried. Like Bill Haney was deaf the first time or was just pretending to be unaware of the obvious, Mayweather's reminded him of his exploits in the boxing ring.
Can I ask you a question? Bill,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's my record under the lights? What's my record under the lights?
I'm gonna tell you, but listen, what's your record in life, nigga?
No.
Yeah,
Get down to it.
Yeah, what's my record?
What is-
And that those exploits are his exploits even in life. He responded, "My record in life is undefeated." But Haney wasn't here for boxing reasons. He came as a representative of the street, and he sure made that known to Mayweather. He said, "Flexing that nonsense 50-0, I'm 50-0 on these streets. I got love in these streets. To hell with your 50-0 with that boxing stuff. That stuff doesn't mean anything."
I feel like, listen, I've been knowing you for hella long, but I feel like you're a bullshit ass nigga. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's how I feel like it, me myself, personally. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
By your act.
and so,
Let me tell you by your act. Wait,
that's cool.
Wait, PB, you wanted me to tell you. I feel like you're a bullshit.
And with the look of things, there's one thing that's consistent about Bill Haney. It is quite true and surprising that Bill Haney actually thinks pro boxing records mean nothing, because even after Devin's loss, he's been out here talking like it never happened. And while his vocalness since his son's loss may be a good reflection of his mentality of life as a battle of wins and losses, his vocal tendencies have been deemed by many as irritating and disgraceful.
Like, nigga, every 50 of your opponents.
My record in life is undefeated.
I need help tonight, you fool ass Earth man. Your son needs help tonight. Your daughter needs help tonight, you fool ass Earth man. Do not campaign. Everybody needs. Listen, my son needs me today, tomorrow, and every day.
And guess what?
So does yours.
If he need me, I'm gonna be there for him. If he need me, I'm gonna be there for him.
No, nigga, you was just popping slick.
But let's take a look at the other things Bill Haney said to the legend. "You need some help?" Mayweather asked the freshly wounded Haney toward the close of their video chat. "You needed some help the other night. If Devin needs me, I'm going to be there for him. Anytime I help Devin, it's total love, period. While that led to the pair laughing as the conversation ended and Mayweather urging Haney to call him for a private chat, there was tension earlier, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.